Welcome back to the CNT podcast. This week is going to be the All-Star teams breakdown, who got snubbed, who should be where. Super excited for it, but before we get into that, let's look at card of the week. Card of the week this week is this Luis Garcia auto, rookie auto, out of 300. Now, I actually recently just started in PC in Luis Garcia, as I have pulled a lot of his rookies and have always been a big fan of his game. I got this card here on vacation when I went to a card store here in Illinois, and I got it for a pretty good price. I won't list it here, but I'm really happy with it, and I think it's one of the coolest cards in my collection. It's my first Luis Garcia auto of hopefully many, as I do want to get a pretty big collection of him. And Tier 1 has always been one of my favorite products. Love the card design. That's always a huge part in when I want to get a card, is the design and the player. Now, let's get right on into these All-Star teams. Let's start off with the starters in each league. In the AL, we have Teoscar Hernandez, Mike Trout, who I'll say doesn't really deserve to be there, but I'll get a little bit more into that when I get to who deserves to be there. Aaron Judge, who is having a great year, obviously. Devers, who, dude, I've never been huge on Devers until this year. He's been killing it. Xander Bogaerts, he's been really well. Definitely think he deserves the start. I mean, I would have given it to Bo as a long shot, but Xander, safe option. Marcus Semien at second. As much as I hate him, I think Altuve should have been there. First base, Vlad Jr., my pick for MVP. Did not expect this year out of him. Loved watching him play. Definitely deserves it. Catcher, Salvador Perez. Cannot think of anyone better for that position. And then for DH, went to Shohei Ohtani. You'll hear more about him later. Now for the NL starters, we have Jesse Winker. I don't think he should have been a starter. Definitely think he should have made the team, but not quite a starter. Ronald Acuna Jr., yeah, I think he deserved a spot to start for sure. Castellanos has been killing it. I think he should win MVP as of right now. Definitely deserves it. Well, no, he shouldn't win MVP, I guess, because I think DeGrom deserves it, but if they're not giving it to a pitcher, it's definitely Castellanos in my eyes. Third base, Nolan Arenado. He's been having a solid year. Down year because he's not at Coors, but still, he's been great. Shortstop, Tatis Jr., he's been killing it. Definitely up there in the MVP talks. Todd Frazier starting at second. Didn't think that would actually happen. Very glad that it did. Next up at first, you have Freddie Freeman. Definitely don't think he deserved to start. Talk more about it when we get to who I think did. And catcher is Buster Posey, who 100% deserves it. Having a tremendous year. Did not expect it out of him. Now, let's look at the reserves. For the AL reserves, you have Mike Zunino, who I think has having a great year. I did not expect him to be an All-Star. I think he deserved it. I didn't think he had a shot at it. Very happy he made it. Jose Altuve, who I said before, I think should have started over Marcus Semien. Hate him because he cheated, but he does deserve to be here. Bo Bichette, who's having an amazing year, definitely deserves to be on All-Star. Really glad he made it. Big Bo fan. Carlos Correa made it. Again, don't like him for cheating. Does deserve to be on the team this year. Next up, you have Matt Olson at first. Definitely deserves a spot. Has been a great year. But Vlad is having a better year. He should be starting over Matt as he is. Jose Ramirez, I don't know if I really think he fully deserved it. But, I mean, I feel like you got to let him in. He is having a pretty good year. Then you have Jared Walsh, another guy who I did not think would make it. But I'm glad he did. Filling in for Pujols after they released him. Hit a clutch grand slam the other day. He's been killing it. JD Martinez made it. Definitely deserves it. Then you have Nelson Cruz. Man, he does not age. He is getting up there in age, but it just doesn't matter. He continues to rake and continues to be great. You have Michael Brantley, who deserves to be over Trout. Deserves to be over Teoscar Hernandez. You have Joey Gallo. Again, deserves to be over Trout. Any of the reserve outfielders deserve to be over Trout. Trout should not be an All-Star. He has not played nearly enough. I wouldn't go as far as saying Joey deserves it over Teoscar, though. Then you have Adolis Garcia. So happy he made it. He's been killing it. Deserves it over Trout. Deserves it over Teoscar as a starter. Then you have my pick on who should have been the starting center fielder, Cedric Mullins. He is one of the best hitters I've seen in a while. He is absolutely amazing. Totally elevated his game. He should be over Trout. He should be over Hernandez. And honestly, I put him over Judge this year. Having a tremendous year. Can't wait to see what he can do in the All-Star game. Next up, we have the NL reserves. JT Realmuto. I think Wilson Contreras should have gotten that spot. Ozzy Albies having a great year. You can make the case for him to start. I think Todd Frazier deserves it, though. Just my opinion. Then you have Chris Bryant. I think he should be a starter. Having an MVP year. I love seeing him play well as my favorite player. You might say it's a little biased, he should start, but honestly, I feel like he's been a bit better than Arenado this year. Then you have Brandon Crawford killing it. Changed up his swing a bit. It's definitely paying off. And his defense has always been great. Jake Cronenworth, I think he's a good pick. Definitely deserves to be in this All-Star game in my eyes. Eduardo Escobar, I think, is a little bit of a stretch. I don't think he fully deserved it, but, I mean, we'll see what he can do in the All-Star game. Then we have Max Muncy, who should have started at first. And that's coming from someone who does not like Max Muncy. But he 100% deserved to start in this All-Star game. He's been killing it this year. Playing great. Big reason why the Dodgers are still good. They have struggled, but that also came from him being injured for a bit. Trey Turner, who recently hit for the cycle on his birthday, 100% deserves it. Mookie Betts, a lot of people thought he would start off to a rough start. He still makes it as a reserve, though. Brad Reynolds, who again, I did not think would make it, but did think he would deserve it. I thought he was going to be on my snubs list, but he makes it in. You have Kyle Schwarber, who probably won't play, but he did make it. Kyle Schwarber is an absolute beast, been killing it. Got him in fantasy off waivers at the start of like May or middle May. Been my best player. One of the top teams in the league as well. Then you got Juan Soto, who I don't think he deserved it this year. He's been off. He just hasn't been himself this year. I didn't think he should make it, I'll be honest. Then you have Chris Taylor, another guy I don't think really deserved it. I feel like Bryce Harper deserved it more than him this year. But that's just my opinion. Before we get into the pitchers and my snubs list, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 100 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if we could hit it. Now, let's get on to the pitchers. Starting with the AL, you have Shohei Ohtani, who makes history being selected as a batter and a pitcher. He's been killing it. I think that does have something to do with Joe Madden getting there. Next up, you have Shane Bieber, who's been amazing. I would definitely, card-wise, invest in him. I think he's going to be a stud. Garrett Cole, without his spider attack, he has not been good. I don't think he really deserves it as much as some other guys. Got Nathan Eovaldi from the Red Sox. He's been doing really well. Glad to see him in it. Now, here's another two players who I did not think would make it, but I think 100% deserved it. Kyle Gibson, who's just been killing it for the Rangers, makes it. Did not expect that. And the player who I think definitely deserves it and should finish top 10 in Cy Young this year as a stretch, who I thought had no chance of making it, Yoshi Kikuchi. He's been killing it for the Mariners as of late. I did not think he would make it, but he did, and I could not be happier that he did. Then you got a pair of White Sox pitchers, Lance Lynn and Carlos Rodon. You also got Matt Barnes from the Red Sox, another player I drafted in fantasy. Again, I'm the second seed in fantasy, first seed in my division. I've been killing it. As of right now, I am 9-3, but I believe I will be 10-3 when this episode airs. Then you have Aroldis Chapman. Again, he doesn't deserve it without, he's been struggling as of late. Started when the sticky substances were started to crack down on. Coincidence? Probably not. You have Liam Hendricks. He's been doing good. Ryan Presley, who's always been solid, has been a big help to the Astros. And then Gregory Soto, who I think does deserve it, and was surprised to see him in it. Before we go to the NL pitchers, let's take a quick look at the AL snubs. I have 3 snubs from the AL and the NL. For the AL, Aaron Silva, I think, should have made it over Chapman or Cole. He's been killing it, going under the radar, and falls short of the All-Star game. Next up, Mitch Haniger. He's been great. He's playing better than he did in 2019. He was an All-Star in 2019. He deserves to be on this list. And then the biggest snub in my eyes, J.P. Crawford. He has been so good defensively as he has been, and his bat has just elevated. He's been such a great hitter for the Mariners, and I cannot believe he was left off the team. Now let's look at NL pitchers. You have Corbin Burnes, who, not surprised, he's been killing it. Yu Darvish, another player on my fantasy team. I'm saying it a lot. I drafted a lot of I drafted a lot of All-Stars this year, hence why I'm one of the best teams in the league. Darvishy's been killing it. Obviously, we have Jacob deGrom on the team. Kevin Gossman, he's been doing well. Glad to see him make it. Jordan Marquez, happy to see that at least one Rocky made the team, as they are in Colorado. Got Trevor Rogers making the team. Zach Wheeler, who's been dominant. I think, honestly, second best pitcher in the league this year behind deGrom, obviously. Brandon Woodruff, who's having a tremendous year. Josh Hader, he's been solid. I don't know if he fully deserved it, but I'm not going to complain. Then you have the best reliever this year, Craig Kimbrell, making it. So glad he did not get snubbed, because he deserves it out of all of these pitchers, except deGrom, the most. Second most deserving. You got Mark Melincon, I think he deserved it as well, and Alex Reyes. I don't really have a huge opinion on him. He probably deserves it, but maybe someone else can slid in as well. Now for the 3 most snubbed players. Number 3, Tyler O'Neill. He's having a great year, but at the same time, there's players in the same position I have that's number 1 snubbed on the NL. Number 2, Wilson Contreras. Like I said earlier, I think Contreras should have made it over JT a little bit. I definitely think he got snubbed. And my number 1 snub player, number 2 of all the snub players, Bryce Harper. He's been killing it this year. He deserved the spot. Only player who got snubbed more than him, in my opinion, is J.P. Crawford. Thank you all so much for watching this week's episode. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Bye.